Hi, it's Vic. Welcome back to my channel, and today I have a fun sea life shaker card. So to start with, I'm just stamping out my images, and I've used the Gerda Steiner Whale of a Time stamps, and now I'm just going in with my Copic colours, and I'm just going to do some quick Copic colouring. And I'll list all the Copic markers I use down in the description box below. And I'm just going to use this frame from Time for Tea Designs, and then I'm also going to be using the Time for Tea Designs Wonderful Waves stencil, and this is on Paper Mill Direct Super Smooth White card, and I'm just using some Distress ink and Time for Tea Designs blender brush, and I'm just going over this with my Distress ink, just gently applying the ink over the waves. And then I'm also going to be adding a couple more colours of the Distress ink so it gets a little bit darker towards the bottom of the card. If you don't have a stencil like this, you can also just freehandly cut a piece of card into a wave and do your inks over that, and you should get the same type of effect. And now moving on to the last ink, which is a greeny colour. I'm again adding this to the bottom of my cards, and then what I'm going to do after the ink blending's finished is just press the ink pad down and apply some water and a paintbrush and just add some little splatters all over the cards. And I love doing this because it's fun and it also adds a bit more added texture. And this piece of card will be the one that shows through on the shaker compartment. So what I'm going to do now, I've got that frame that I've die cut, and I'm just using exactly the same inks that I used to make the scene. So I'm starting with the lightest colour ink and then moving on to the middle colour, and then lastly I'll be moving on to the green colour. And then once I've applied the green ink, I'm going to do exactly the same. I'm going to add some water, and using a paintbrush I'm going to add lots of little droplets over this piece of frame. So I've trimmed down a piece of acetate that we're going to adhere to this. So I'm just using some strong double-sided tape, and I've turned the frame over and I'm applying this tape all around the edges, and then I'm going to stick down that piece of acetate. And if you have any bits of acetate that aren't cut down exactly to the same size, I just use my scissors and then just trim away the excess bit of acetate. So now I'm using some foam tape, and I've doubled this up so that it's extra thick. So I've done this because when I'm going to add all the sequins and gems, if it's double thickness, it will shake a lot better. So now I'm just placing the foam tape all around the edges of the frame and making sure that there's no gaps or anywhere where the sequins might fall out. So if you do make a shaker card, be sure to make sure that there's no gaps at all around the foam tape, otherwise all your sequins will fall out. And that little brush is a powder tool, so what that does is removes all the stickiness from around the side of the foam tape, so when you do put your sequins in, they won't get stuck to that part of the foam tape. And now I'm just adding lots and lots of sequins into my shaker cards, and this is the fun part. I love doing this. And I've also added some little gems in too to make sure that it's more colourful and fills up the shaker card. And once all your sequins and gems are in, we're going to remove the backing paper from the foam tape. And I do try and do this quite gently, otherwise my sequins will just ping everywhere. So once all the backing tape is removed, I'm going to be placing the panel that I ink blended over the top of the shaker part. So I'm just going to gently line up this piece of card and apply it down to my shaker part, and then I'm going to press hard, and there we go, there's the shaker part of the card complete. Now moving on to the sentiment, I'm going to be doing some heat embossing. So I've used the Thanks a Ton sentiment from the same stamp set, and I'm just using my Versamark ink and some Wow opaque bright white embossing powder, and I'm just going to sprinkle this over the card, and that's Paper Mill Direct card in plain black. And then the little bits that are left on the cards, I just get a paintbrush and gently wipe them away. And now I can go ahead and heat set the sentiment. Once that's heat set, I'm going to go ahead and just trim this down so that it will fit nicely on my card. And then I'm also going to go ahead and adhere down all the stamped images, and I'll be using foam tape to adhere the sentiment and the whales and the little starfish. And you can also use some strong liquid glue to adhere your images down. You don't have to use foam tape, as it will make the card a bit more bulkier, but I'm fine with that. But if you're not, then definitely go ahead and just use some liquid glue. And if you're new to card making, you have to give shaker cards a go. They are so fun to make, and people just love receiving them, and I love making them. I just think they just brighten up any card, so definitely give it a go. And then to adhere this piece down onto my card base, I'm just using some double-sided tape, and then I'm going to remove the backing and adhere the shaker part down. And this is Paper Mill Direct Super Smooth card again, and then to adhere it down I just gently place both pieces together. I love how this turned out, and I love the sequins and gems inside, makes it look really pretty. And that's your shaker card all complete. Thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day. Bye.